The Denver Broncos just keep winning. And Bo Nix is proving this franchise right in that they made the right choice by drafting him. At first, it seemed like a cool story, but now it really is legit. The Broncos are winning by scoring a ton of points. They can win those scrappy games. Really, Bo Nix has just come in as a rookie and has transformed the culture of this team. And that is also big thanks to Sean Payton. But that game against the Browns really was a wild one. The Broncos had their struggles defensively trying to stop Juedy in his revenge game, but it was just a track meet type of game. And the Broncos offense was able to match that style. So many guys stepped up, and I want to talk all about it. But before I begin, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe. It only takes 5 seconds, plus you can always change your mind. We are on the road to 40,000 subscribers, and with your support, I believe that we can get there super fast. Alright, so starting off with a recap of the Broncos' 41-32 win over Cleveland, the Browns started out with a missed field goal by Dustin Hopkins, and with about 4 minutes left in the first quarter, Nix drove Denver down the field, and Javonte Williams punched it in to put the Broncos on top 7-zip. The Browns did respond though. Jameis Winston, who broke the record for the most yards in a game while also having the most Jameis Winston game of all time, led the Browns down the field. He shredded the Broncos secondary with multiple guys getting involved and Njoku catching the touchdown pass to tie the game. And then after another defensive stop, Dustin Hopkins finally did make a field goal to put Cleveland on top 10-7. But after that, everything went the Broncos' way. Nix found Sutton, Adkins, and Franklin all for big gains to set the Broncos up in scoring position. And then Michael Burton took it in the end zone for the 1-yard touchdown to put Denver back on top 14-10. And then on the following possession, with Winston driving down the field, Nick Bonito stepped in the passing lane and got a pick 6. And that was the Browns' weakness this game. Winston threw for a lot of yards, but he forced a couple of throws, and credit to the Broncos secondary because they were on high alert and capitalized on the mistakes all game long. And the next drive was game defining for the Browns, and I definitely got to give some credit to Jameis Winston because he drove the Browns back down the field and responded, finding Njoku in the end zone to get the Browns back in the game before halftime. And the track meet would continue in the second half, to say the least. And it started out with Bo Nix finding Marvin Mims deep, threading a needle, leading him all the way to the end zone. This could have been a dangerous throw with the way Denzel Ward was playing, but the entire secondary missed and there was nothing but daylight ahead for Mims. But the Browns said, anything you can do, I can do better. This was a mental lapse by the Denver secondary, but Juedy ended up getting wide open on a streak, taking one to the house for a 70-yard touchdown, and then also converting the 2-point conversion as well to put the Browns within 3 with a score of 28-25. The Broncos then late in the third would kick a 36-yard field goal to go up by 6, and that is when things would turn, because Jameis Winston would drive the Browns down the field again, and he hit Nick Chubb on a check down for a touchdown to put the Browns up by 1. This completely flipped the momentum, and it was time to see how the Rook would respond. And he did exactly what we all thought he would do. He drove the Broncos down the field, and it became decision time on 4th and 1. And after some reconsideration, Sean Payton decided to take the points to go up 2. So the Browns had 2 minutes to get in field goal range to win. And Winston made it interesting. It really would have been quite the story, but that is when he decided to throw in the direction of Jaquan McMillan, who made an outstanding play to jump the route, intercept the ball, and also take it back to the house since he was untouched. So overall, the Broncos defense did struggle at times in this game. They had a few mental lapses, but at the same time, the turnovers they created and turned into points won Denver this game. Looking at some of the stats, Bo Nix threw for 294 yards with a touchdown. The 2 interceptions definitely showed some of his inexperience, but the great thing is that he can go back to the film room and learn from it. And it's always great to learn from a win. Jaleel McLaughlin had 84 yards, averaging 6 yards a carry, and then in the receiving department, Mims had 105 yards and a touchdown, pretty much solely due to that one play. And Sutton had 102 yards and 6 catches, and then Franklin and Krul both had over 20 yards. I really feel like Bo Nix is starting to develop a connection and some chemistry with his receivers. Sometimes at the beginning of the season, he was not looking Sutton's way enough, but he even himself told Sutton to call him out at halftime if the ball is not being thrown his way, because Sutton really is one of the most talented players in the NFL, and he needs the ball to be able to make plays for the team. It really is nice that the Broncos won this game, because honestly, it really was a must-win in terms of the playoffs, and now they get to go into a bye week with good vibes across the board, and they can use these next 2 weeks to adjust and fix what went wrong with some of the mix-ups in the secondary, as well as the turnovers offensively. And then coming out of the break, they will have the Colts, and that will be a pretty interesting matchup. It is one that I think the Broncos should win, but it could be another one of those track meet type of games. I mean, we will know after 5 minutes. You never know what version of Anthony Richardson you're gonna see. Coming into this season, I don't think anyone expected the Broncos to be sitting at 8-5 heading into the bye week. Even me, who praised this team and the draft pick of Bo Nix all offseason, I didn't think they would be much over 500. I thought they would get things turned around and the culture would shift, but I did not expect this team to be this dangerous. But here we are. Anyways, in round 5 against Browns star edge rusher Myles Garrett, Bulls had the upper hand in 14 matchups. Denver's starting left tackle only gave up 1 pressure against Garrett. He hasn't allowed a sack to Garrett in 4 or 5 matchups between both players. Garrett, who had 3 sacks last week against the Steelers, finished the game with a pressure rate of 3.8%, his lowest in a game since 2021, according to NFL's Next Gen Stats. Bulls' 3 penalties were frustrating, but he handled the assignment of containing Garrett, and the double teams throughout the game were super effective. And in terms of Courtland Sutton, it was another strong game for Denver's top wideout. He averaged 17 yards per catch, and Monday marked the 3rd time this season that Sutton recorded at least 100 yards in a game, a career best. And Sutton was reliable for Bo Nix on 3rd down, recording 4 catches for 51 yards on 5 targets. This really was just an impressive showing for a full 60 minutes. The Broncos showed a lot of resiliency, and they really are becoming a team that nobody looks forward to facing. Here's what some of the players and media have had to say as of late.
A lot of different kind of football plays that happen, so really it's just all about going to the next drive. Not worrying about the score, not worrying about what happened before, just worrying about getting the next good playoff. And I thought, at times we ran the ball well, at times we threw the ball well. We just kind of put everything together best as possible. And, we just found a way to win the game. These are tough games. Really good defense. They moved the ball well offensively, but at the right time, both sides of the ball made plays.
Problem solved. Bo Nix gets his 8th win last night. He has doubled the prior franchise record for rookie quarterback wins that was held by John Elway and Drew Lock with 4. He's got 8 now. They're 8-5. The bad news for the NFL with the Broncos winning last night, it is pretty clear who the 7 playoff teams are in the AFC.
That's really all I have to say for this video. Thank you all so much if you made it to this point, and if you enjoyed and haven't yet, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe because your support truly does mean the world. And also, let me know what you would like to see next, and until then, I will see you all later.